I never imagined that the person who gave me life could one day turn into someone I hardly recognized. My mother, my guiding star, my protector, the one whose love I had always counted on, suddenly told me words that pierced through my soul. You are no longer my daughter. It all began slowly, in subtle ways I ignored. The cold glances, the sharp words disguised as advice, the little exclusions that I convinced myself were misunderstandings. I wanted to believe she loved me unconditionally, like a mother should. But reality has a way of revealing itself, often when you least expect it. I grew up as her shadow, always trying to make her proud, always striving to meet her expectations. I remember the countless nights I stayed awake, worrying if I had done enough, if I had behaved well enough, if I was worthy of her praise. Every achievement, every success, every small joy was always shadowed by the fear of disappointment. The turning point came on a seemingly ordinary evening. I had done something I thought would make her happy. I had worked hard to achieve a milestone in my career, something I knew she had always valued: respect, status, recognition. I ran to her, heart full of hope, ready to share my success, expecting the warmth of pride and joy on her face. But what I saw instead was a face I didn't recognize: cold, distant, disappointed. And then, the words, "You are no longer my daughter." My body froze. My heart skipped beats. My world tilted on its axis. How could the woman who had carried me in her womb, who had nurtured me through every illness, every tear, every triumph, say something so cruel? I wanted to scream, to ask why, to demand an explanation, but no words came. I stood there, numb, watching as she walked away, leaving me feeling more alone than I had ever felt in my entire life. Days turned into weeks, and every interaction became a minefield. I tried to bridge the gap, to understand what had caused this sudden estrangement. Was it something I said? Something I did? Or was it always there, buried beneath years of subtle judgments, waiting for the right moment to surface? I recalled the countless moments when her love had felt conditional. When I succeeded, it was never enough. When I failed, it was the end of the world. When I wanted to talk, she was busy, distracted, or dismissive. I had always excused it, telling myself that every mother had her flaws, that every family had its struggles. But now, everything was laid bare in one sentence. I reached out to my father, hoping for guidance, for comfort. But even he seemed caught between us, unsure of how to mend what had been broken. I realized then that the problem wasn't just a single argument or misunderstanding. It was a fracture that had been forming over years, fueled by unspoken resentments, hidden expectations, and miscommunication. Then came the confrontations. I tried to speak to her, to understand, to plead for forgiveness, or at least clarity. But every conversation ended in silence or sharper words, cutting deeper than I could have imagined. "You are no longer my daughter," she would repeat, as if rehearsed, as if trying to convince herself as much as me. I turned to my friends for support, sharing my pain and confusion. They listened, comforted me, reminded me of my worth. But even their words couldn't erase the sting of rejection from someone who was supposed to be unconditional love itself. As months passed, I began to see patterns in her behavior: the coldness, the distance, the constant criticism. It wasn't about a single mistake or failure. It was about control, about expectations, about the power to dictate who I could be and what I could achieve. And when I started to assert myself, to make choices for my own happiness, she responded with rejection, trying to punish me for daring to be independent. The emotional weight was unbearable at times. Nights were the hardest. Lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, I would replay our interactions over and over, wondering if I had done something differently, if I could have avoided this heartbreak. But slowly, I realized something important. This wasn't my fault. Love, true love, should never feel like a battle or a punishment. I sought therapy, guidance, and eventually began to rebuild my sense of self. I focused on my achievements, my passions, my friends, the people who truly valued me. It wasn't easy. Every step forward felt like walking on broken glass. But slowly, I started to heal, learning that family doesn't always mean unconditional support, and that sometimes the people we expect to protect us can hurt us the most. Then came moments of reflection. I thought about my childhood, the memories I cherished, and the bond I once had with my mother. I realized that love isn't always what we think it is. Sometimes it's a lesson in resilience, in understanding, in finding strength within ourselves. And though her words had hurt me beyond measure, they also forced me to grow, to recognize my own worth, and to never let anyone diminish it again. In the end, I accepted that my mother may never see me the way I want her to. She may never apologize or explain. And that's okay, because I have learned a truth far greater than seeking approval or affection: that my value is not determined by anyone else, not even by the woman who brought me into this world. The pain of rejection taught me the power of self-love. The betrayal of a mother taught me resilience. And the silence that followed taught me to listen to my own heart above all else. Now, I live my life on my terms. I pursue my dreams, cherish my friends, and build a life where I am recognized for who I am, not who someone else wants me to be. And while the shadow of her words may linger, I have learned to shine brighter than any rejection, stronger than any heartbreak, and prouder than ever of the woman I've become. Because at the end of the day, no one can define your worth except you. And even if the person who gave you life fails to see it, you must.